Camp Rock.
Ah.
The nostalgia of that film, it really defined a generation, quite a pivotal moment for you as an actor, as a performer in the entertainment industry. A lot of highs and a lot of lows on that set.
Well, if you want all of the juicy details, that was a thick chapter. A fun memory that comes to mind is being with the other kids and learning different riffs and runs from our favorite artists. We were able to sort of have fun and banter in that moment before shifting into work mode.
Before Alyson was singing and dancing alongside Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers, the then 14-year-old, who now uses they/them pronouns, already had a stack of credits. You may remember this pigtailed 9-year-old working it in Missy Elliott's music video. Then came The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the film Step Up, where Alyson played Channing Tatum's foster sister, along with Cheaper by the Dozen. In 2005, E.T. was at the premiere for the sequel.
What are you doing for Christmas?
For Christmas, I'm going back to visit my family in Ohio because I haven't seen them for over a year. It's like Isabella Garcia Shapiro and Phineas and Ferb.
What is Santa gonna bring you?
Santa's gonna bring me whatever I ask him, right?
You've lived a lot of life since this moment.
Yes.
Is there a message that you would send to that bright-eyed, excited, exuberant young girl?
Besides buckle up, I think instead of a message of advice, I would just want to join this little one and say, hey, I want to just be an attuned presence for you. The journey was just, it came with no manual at the time.
Now, Alyson is sharing the, at times, traumatic journey in a new memoir, Semi-Well Adjusted, Despite Literally Everything, out now.
But the topics that you tackle are really intense and heavy. So why did you want to put all that out there?
Well, I noticed that we've seen what I call the toddler to train wreck pipeline of child stars. We hear about things like decimated fortunes and exploitation and general mental health challenges, and sometimes for some of my peers, suicide. And I thought, why has no one unpacked why this repeats, and how come we haven't done anything to intervene or prevent future harm? So I, today, am not only an author, but I'm also a mental health practitioner. I feel ultimately very hopeful that this is not just another child star tell-all, that there's something different about the way I'm approaching sharing what happens in the industry that can spark different kinds of conversations.
In the book, the 32-year-old calls growing up in the spotlight a nightmare. Some of the biggest bombshell claims: Alyson's bank account got cleaned out after they allege mishandling by those in charge to the tune of more than $1 million. There's also this revelation: how the pressure of being on TV led to an intense eating disorder. Alyson admits to only eating 700 calories a day at one point and weighing just 92 pounds. The star sought treatment in 2011.
Do you think, had you not gone, you'd be here today?
No. Understanding now, as a practitioner, the fatality of living with certain kinds of eating disorders, and seeing the folks who were around me and where their priorities were, I think there's a strong possibility that I, for a number of reasons, would not be here.
I remember one time you followed me into the bathroom
Yeah.
in Camp Rock 1.
Yeah.
And I had been purging. And you picked up on it because your spidey senses were already in tune with those behaviors.
You mentioned in the book that Demi eventually making the choice to go and seek help motivated you to do the same. What was that rock bottom moment for you that inspired you to go get that help?
At 17, I was approaching what's considered the child star expiration date of 18, and I still hadn't secured that breakthrough role. And what truly prompted me was both desperation and the severity of needing to heal, and the hope that I would be able to get better and come back stronger than ever. But what actually happened is when I was in treatment, it was the first time since 6 years old that I'd been in an environment where there was consistent routine, There were surrounding adults who weren't on my payroll, and there was an opportunity to process everything that had accumulated. And thankfully, that not only helped me with eating disorder recovery, it also started to pull on all of these other threads where I got to examine, is this really the path that I chose that's right for me? The way I want to contribute to the world?
Alyson delves more into the complicated relationship with Camp Rock co-star Demi. While the two leaned on each other during hard times, Alyson felt the cast faced unnecessary backlash for Demi's downfall.
You felt a little suffocated by the cloud of her star power and the very tense relationship that the two of you had. Tell me about what it was like back then and how you got to the place that you are today.
I wish all of us would have been presented with the information to make sense of our experience in the industry. All of us found our own coping strategies, some healthier than others for myself, and I think as we were able to go about our own personal healing journeys, eventually, and being able to reconnect many years later, we saw, thankfully, that we weren't in the same positions that we once were. And we were able to also, I think, have compassion that these were teenage years. Our brains weren't even fully developed yet.
It still didn't give me an excuse to treat anyone poorly, and so I just want to genuinely, deeply apologize.
While Demi has been really brave and honest about her experience, if I'm gonna write a memoir, I can't leave out some of the critical components.
What topic for you was the most challenging to have to go back to and relive?
I think because I've spent so much time processing some of the challenging subject matter, it was actually the intimate and vulnerable moments with loved ones that had me all choked up. I know that I might not even be alive today if it weren't for some of these people. I actually dedicate the book to my first therapist. Oh, I already feel the emotions. And I just thank her for redirecting the course of my life toward healing, because it could have been on a very different path. And then the other person who comes to mind right now is Nick Cooper, who was my vocal coach. And he could have just been another person in the industry trying to nickel and dime me into more lessons, and instead, he gave me a safe place to explore all of the emotions that I had to bottle up and hide from, being on public display.
Today, Alyson is focused on mental health initiatives, but still lends a voice to Phineas and Ferb. Stoner is also the co-founder and CEO of Movement Genius, a digital wellness platform.
In 2018, you wrote a very powerful op-ed and you came out. How is life since then, living in your truest, authentic self?
Understanding queerness in all of its dimensions has been one of the most beautiful gifts in my life. Just finding a place where you feel like you belong and where people really see and understand you. I simply didn't have that in this kind of way. And to see relationships flourishing, and I just feel like I continually get to expand as a human, and that's something I wish for everyone.
Is marriage something on your vision board?
No, never, and I fully support everyone who is interested in getting married, and that is absolutely not on my to-do list.
I know you've obviously been very vocal that you love and protect children, but you do not desire to biologically have children.
Correct.
So if marriage is not something you're into and children is not something you're into, I'm just curious, how did you arrive at that? How did you know? That's just two things that I don't think will suit my life.
I felt like this since I was 3 years old, and it has never changed. And in fact, I tried to make sure that in therapy and checking in with myself, like this isn't just some kind of trauma response or
You're sure?
something that I'm gonna change my mind on. It has been consistent from the beginning.
Does acting, singing, dancing still burn in your heart?
I still show up and produce and write, direct, etc. here and there. I'm most excited that I will be certified as a mental health coordinator for film, TV, and stage productions. So at the moment, I want to lean into that role. Maybe down the road, I'll end up wanting to tell stories again as an artist. And go.
If there was to be this R-rated version of Camp Rock 3 that has been floated, Nick Jonas has said he's down, Demi Lovato has said she's down. Are you interested in visiting Camp Rock 3 with a more mature twist?
That sounds like a perfect project for a mental health coordinator. I need to see the script and I need to know if they're gonna make me play a piano that's not plugged in again. You gotta give me final approval on the music that's coming out of that instrument, and then we'll see. We'll see where I land.